Alright, so decent sized tree. Snapped in half here. One went one way, one went the other. We've driven under this a bunch of times, but it's due. And if we pull it down now and cut it up, then we don't have to worry about it falling down and being in the way. And this is the trail to our other campsite, so there would be some stuff in the way we'd have to cut. But can't see it being too hard of a job. Winch to this tree here, snatch block over, yank it. Should be a piece of cake. But as we know, nothing goes according to plan. So we'll see. More to follow. All right, let's see what we got. We need you. You're our good kinetic rope we're going to yank you with. Yeah, snatch block. We will need you. Rope. Yeah, tree savers. Yes, come here. Perfect. That should be it for now. Clearly some squirrels have been here having some snackaroos. Oh yeah, because that's really safe. Yeah, that's probably about the best I'm gonna get. Yeah, we'll see. I'm gonna turn the winch on. Look at that. There we go. Hook you up. Hook you up. All right. All right. Well, while we're waiting, I'm waiting for my buddy to get here. He's got a truck. He's gonna help me cut this up once we get it down and take it out to our campsite. But I've got people that message me with questions about the truck and stuff, and I mean, there's so much done to this that I don't even know where to begin. So the bumper is a coastal off-road bumper. I think they're based out of like Vancouver or something like that. Don't get me wrong, it's like a strong AF bumper, but the only thing that's bad about it is that this area right here, it blocks your transmission cooler, the stock one that comes with it. So when we were out west in Utah in 2001, this thing would overheat. Basically, anytime you were going up like even a slight incline in four-wheel drive, the temperature on the transmission was rising. So I had to get an external transmission cooler and put that in here. But, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's an awesome bumper, but had I known it blocked that, I honestly probably would have gone with something else. But 12,000-pound Badland winch, synthetic rope. So I've used it before. Unfortunately, that's actually the second one I had in there. The first one, I guess the gearing got messed up in it, and it just decided to stop working. So, but had to replace that, which wasn't cheap. And then your standard D-rinks. So it's got high beam and low beam little LEDs. I think they were just off of Amazon or Rough Country or something. Nothing crazy, but I wanted something additional, straightforward. The 40-watt Cree pods. This one right here is actually out. I got to replace it, but they are nice. I got 2 forward and 2 angled, and they're pretty sweet. When we were again in Utah in 2021, that all of those lights, all, well, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, not all 9 lights were on when we were on the White Rim Trail, and it was still pitch black. I mean, having lights is definitely ideal. Rock sliders, I forget the name of the country I bought these off of, but they were all a country. Wow, sorry, edit that out. Company I bought these off of. But they were based out of Utah or something, but they were a pain in the ass to put on, and they didn't exactly, like nothing on the Titan fits exactly. So you're going to have to modify or weld or do something to every little piece. This is not your typical off-roader, so they don't make things for this. But either way, they're sturdy, really, really strong. They're welded on, so they ain't coming off. 20-inch wheels. Probably a little bit bigger than I needed to go, but I mean, it's what was available at the time when I had the money. And these are hybrids. I love them. I can't say anything bad about them. They took us to Utah and back in 2021, and I still have them on there, minus a few rotations. But yeah, I mean, your typical fender flares. This bumper here. So, same thing with the rock sliders. This did not fit. When I tried putting this on myself, it was supposed to be just to take the old bumper off, put the new one on, you know, and bolt it on. Yeah, that didn't work. Underneath, there's a arm, and the bolts go in through that. Well, of course, none of them lined up. So they lined up on the side, but not the bottoms. So this is also welded on as well. And this is a Blue Lake off-road. And I remember emailing them and saying, hey, your stuff doesn't fit, but it is what it is. And the other funny thing with that company was this is a dual, jerry can holder, but it had the same price as a single. And I remember messaging them being like, well, okay, if I get a second one, is that going to cost more? And they said yes. But I said, okay, well, you don't have it listed that way on your site. So just anything Nissan, anything Titan, trying to find off-road stuff, it's just not common. Like your Jeeps, 4Runners, your any type of Toyotas. It's a nightmare trying to get pieces for this. But I mean, if there's a will, there's a way, and I found it. But it is a nice bumper. It does swing out. The only thing I lost my backup sensors, but it's pretty sturdy. I've definitely backed into a true or two. Toolbox. I don't remember the name of that. That thing was probably, I don't know, $100. I just kind of mounted it in there. You could see where I drilled it in to the side. But yeah, you saw the video earlier of me taking the stuff out of there. Definitely well worth it. And then let me see if I have back. I do have onboard air. I do have. That's not for lockers or anything. That's literally just to inflate once I air down wherever it is I'm going, which I absolutely hate doing. But that wasn't cheap either. That was probably about 500 some bucks, and trying to get that wired up. That's wired into the S pod that's underneath with the ham radio. So it's doable, but it's just work. The other side of the rock sliders. And then I've always been a fan of like rooftop storage, just because I can reach up and grab whatever it is I need. And that's a mount for the high lift jack, and I can put the Roam containers on there. It's just. That hasn't given me any problems, and I have a Jeep too that hasn't given me any problems with the roof rack the basket, whatever it is you want to call it. I like it because you can hook a hammock off to it. You can hook a clothesline, a high lift jack, throw all your stuff up there, tie it down. You could put a chair up there, sit up there, chill. I like it, and I want to say they're only like $400 or $500. I wouldn't install it yourself because that's hardcore bolted on there. That's not going anywhere. Definitely not something you want to do yourself. But no, this vehicle's. I mean, it's been a 6-7 year project. I bought this in 2017, I think. 17, I forget when. But I mean, just from front to rear, it's got bumper, winch, fog lights, LED lights. It's got the InGen intake. I just replaced all of the I can't think of the name. Spark plugs. It's got 20-inch wheels. It's got a 6-inch Pro Comp suspension. It's got hybrid mud all-terrain tires. It's got the rock sliders, roof rack, curved LED, X amount of 1,000 million lumen watts light bar. Ham radio, S-Pod. It's got the air compressor in the back. Slotted rotors, which I really don't think made any difference. They were basically just the same price as the regular rotors for this truck. I did do the ceramic brakes, which, I mean, it's clearly here, so I've had no problem stopping anywhere. The cargo storage you saw in the back with the rear bumper, swing out arm. Again, the toolbox has a bunch of little goodies in there. And I already talked about the roof rack basket. I did do, there are aftermarket headers on here, off-road headers with aftermarket exhaust and a high-flow cat. So this thing does have some power, and you will hear it. But it's not like it's, you know, like your standard fart can. I did do, I don't know if you could see underneath here, there's the, I forget what it's called, but it's the traction bars, because the torque on this thing is so crazy that it could, sometimes the drive shaft could come up and hit the bottom of the vehicle. So I got those put on. Rear diff cover in the back. This does, the Pro 4X does come with a standard rear locker, which is pretty sweet. But yeah, I mean, this thing has been all up and down these woods. I mean, it pretty much, you know, dumps half the wood that's there at that campsite. Back here is our other campsite that when we want to be like super secluded. And it's gone through all this before. So yeah, I know it's a full-size truck, but if you want to get to wherever it is, you can do it. You're just, okay, get out, walk the trail first. There's no shame in that. You don't need to be like these people with Jeeps where they drive it first and say, oh, now I'm stuck or this broke. Okay, well, take the 2 minutes to get out and walk it beforehand. But I mean, overall, I'm very happy with this thing. Like I mentioned earlier, I do have the transmission cooler on here, and I don't know if I mentioned that I do have a better intake on this. I was thinking of a snorkel, but I mean, I'm 5'11", and if I were to put the phone up to my chest and walk up, I mean, if I'm in 5.5 foot deep water, and I need a snorkel, I mean, okay, it's going to give me an extra, what, like 2 feet? Like, yay, great, but I don't really think I need it. And I did just order, you can see them under there, CV axles for this thing that'll be going in here shortly. Not that there's anything wrong with the current ones. They've just been beat up. They've been abused for. This thing has 96,000 miles on it, so I just think it's due. If you're proactive on your maintenance for it, you won't have to worry about the last minute maintenance, which is just nicer. So, but and then here's just the standard winch setup I have. So this is the stuff I keep in the toolbox. This isn't anything crazy. It's just your standard snatch block with your rope shackle. I prefer these over the metal ones. My opinion, a tree saver. You can get these off Amazon for like $30. Nothing crazy. And this kinetic recovery rope, this thing, I have pulled trees down like this with that truck. I'm just trying to do the video of winching it, so I don't know how this is going to turn out. We'll see. My buddy's going to show up. He'll do the winching, and I'm going to fly the drone up here watching this thing. So it should be a good time. I wish I could have got the rope up a little bit further, but I couldn't. It doesn't look that high on video, but I'm almost 6 feet, and I had both ends of this rope fully extended, and I couldn't get it up over. And if I threw it up, I wouldn't be able to grab the other side to pull it down, so it didn't really make any sense. So I think we're gonna winch and winch and winch, and you know, either the rope's gonna give, the truck's gonna say enough, or that's gonna come down. So we'll see. I mean, worst case scenario, we could just cut it, but where's the fun in that? So, alrighty, well, let's see how this turns out.
up and see how that's like that.
Yep. Yep. It was fun while it lasted. 1-0 Tree.